you were asking before the show about, we were talking about premenopausal and menopausal women. I think the biggest thing there is that so many women in their 20s and 30s love cardio. They love Zumba classes, and they do a lot of cardio, and they do a lot of running. And that really, to me, can get strange when you're going through menopause, because your ovaries are not producing the same amount of estrogen and progesterone. So it's happening from elsewhere in your body. And then you're putting on body fat around your middle, which is affecting your cortisol and your insulin sensitivity. So a lot of cardio is going to increase your cortisol levels. It's going to make it harder for you to get the results that you want. So I think weight training is the best way. Putting on muscle is the best way to improve your insulin sensitivity. So if you have that hormonal imbalance for a while, as your body's reshifting, you're going to spend a third of your life now in post-menopause.
Right.
You have to rebalance that whole symphony of hormones. Well, then that's a great time to start resistance training and to not stress your body as much with cardio. Your adrenal glands can only take so much during menopause. Like all that HIIT training that we get into for bodybuilding, not the best for menopause, because it's stressing your already stressed adrenal glands. So those are some changes, but in that area, you don't have to do traditional weight training necessarily where you're like bodybuilding, but you can use bands, you can do a lot of body weight exercises. There are ways to make weight training more appealing, and because we have all our own ideas. I've trained enough older women to know that they think they're going to get bulky.
It is so hilarious. I mean, that you just start thinking like, oh, I'm just going to get ginormous. Where did you come up with this belief? Like, no, we are not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
well, there's an anomaly out there. There are very far and few women, but there are some that are natural, like extreme mesomorphs that can put on muscle, but they far and few. They are an exception. I know.
Like,
I would tell people,
we have taken this very, very small percentage and made it into this, like, this is true.
Well, I have told people though, when I've sat down with women where they're like, I don't want to get bulky though. And I'm like, well, good luck. Cause I have been trying to get bulky for 5 years and it ain't easy. Like, it's just, I'm literally trying to put it on.
Yeah.
I have read that if you have not been weight training ever, in your first 12 weeks of weight training for a female, you're going to retain a lot more water because of the inflammation, the muscle breakdown as you're working out. And you don't flush through that inflammation as quickly as you do as your body adapts later on. And what most commonly happens with women is they see that, they think they're getting bulky because they look more bloated, and then they stop. So if you can push through that time period and allow your body to make the adaptations it needs, because that's what your body's always going to do. It's always going to try to adapt to whatever you do all the time. Then you're going to realize that you can actually do a lot of awesome things. Weight training, you're not going to be bulky. You're going to look or perform the way that you would like to look, so long as you work out for what your goal is. There is the specificity of training principle. They call it the SAID principle, specific adaptation to imposed demand. You need to train for what you want to do.